Hi everyone, it's Lara here from LK Yoga, and today we're going to be doing a eagle pose focused sort of workshop class. I reckon the class is going to be about 40 to 50 minutes. I'll definitely make sure I get it correct in the description, but it's one of those things. We'll just see how it goes. So we're going to be aiming at opening up the shoulders and the hips, so it's just a general all-round really great class to be doing, particularly if you're watching this whilst we're still in the X millionth lockdown in the UK. Something just to help you sort of get some movement going through the shoulders and the hips once more, and just have a little bit of fun really. I'm going to do some poses in this that I can't do very well. It really doesn't matter. It's aimed at all levels. Probably a little bit trickier than some of the other classes on this YouTube channel by me, but still not at all a problem for anyone to give it a go. Just have some fun, have a laugh, and remember to smile. So we're going to start class today in either a kneeling position or a seated cross-legged position. Remember, you can always place a block between the legs and just sit on that kneeling, or if you're in a seated position, you can also sit on a block or some pillows to raise your hips slightly. So just find a position that's nice and comfortable for you. And then just take a moment to close the eyes and just settle into your space and into your body. Take a really nice deep inhale and just let the chest fill there. And just grow a couple of inches taller with that really deep inhale. And then on the exhale, gently let go and draw the shoulders back behind you. And just feel that space across the tops of the shoulders and the neck just grow and lengthen and settle down. And just another couple of really deep breaths like that. So we're just clearing the mind, clearing our space. And just taking the next few minutes of our day really in the scheme of things, just to focus in on ourselves and do something a little bit different. And just use the breath as much as it's calming to breathe nice and full and deep, just to energize you as well here. So really deep inhales and exhales, getting lots of oxygen in. And just getting yourself in a good sort of frame of mind to begin our practice. And then from here, just gently opening the eyes if you haven't already. Do some shoulder rolls, so drawing the shoulders up, back and down. Either direction doesn't really matter. We're getting a bit of crunching going on, but seeing as we've got quite a shoulder focused pose coming up today, really try and get some movement going. So over exaggerate it a bit if you can. So as you draw the shoulders back, press the chest forward, and as you draw them forward, round the back. So just getting all this kind of movement going, warming up the spine as well. And then reversing the direction. If you haven't already done that, should already start to feel loads better just from getting those shoulders moving. Great work. And then from here, slowly coming back towards center. Just going to sit a little taller. Remember, you can be seated rather than kneeling. It's totally up to you. I'm going to draw the belly in slightly here. So just going to feel a bit of core engagement. So I'm going to draw the belly in towards the spine just a little bit. Make the tummy feel a little bit firmer. Draw the shoulders up, back and down, and lift the chest. From here, we're going to sweep the arms up overhead. Lift the chest even higher if you can. Nice deep inhale. And then on the exhale, we're going to take the right hand down towards the mat and draw the left arm up and over. So getting a lovely stretch down the side of the body here. If you are in a seated position, you might be able to get the elbow all the way towards the floor. Don't force it, just whatever you can do. Just really get a lovely stretch from the tips of the fingers all the way through to the outside of the hip on the left side. Great work. And then slowly coming back towards center, both arms up overhead again. Nice deep inhale. And then on the exhale, taking the left hand down the side and drawing the right arm up and over. So it's starting to create a bit of space all through the side of the body, around the hip. Get everything moving, stretching out. And then slowly coming back towards center. Last thing we're going to do here is just interlace the hands behind the back. I'm just going to twist so you can see me a little bit better. Squeeze the shoulders away. If interlacing the hands and drawing the palms together is uncomfortable, you can just press the hands away as well. So really draw the shoulders down, lift the chest, and if you can add that little interlace. Just start to squeeze out through the shoulders. I quite like to put in a little bit of movement here, a little bit of a rock and a twist, a bit of mobilising action going on there. Might feel a little bit too much, be a bit too intense, so just be mindful and just take a level that feels, you can feel something's working, but it's not over the top. Nice deep inhale. And exhale, let that go. And just give the arms a little bit of a shake. And then from here, we're going to plant the hands out in front of us. I'm going to draw the knees underneath our hips. You can come to the centre of the mat if you're OCD like me. I'm going to take a few rounds of cat-cow now. So the hands are spread on the mat, roughly underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. If you ever get wrist trouble, you just walk the hands a little bit further forward, and it just takes a little bit of the pressure out of the wrist, puts more weight through the knees, and just decreases this angle here. So that's a nice tip there for you. From here, we're into the cat-cow. So we're going to round up through the back, drawing the chin in towards the chest. And then when you're ready, gently ripple forward, scooping the chest through, gazing out in front of you. So just take a couple of breaths, just to move through these transitions, and just do them at your own time. So move at your own pace. You don't want to move too quickly here, but at the same time, you're just going to sort of enjoy that sort of spinal movement. Start to get everything moving and feeling a little bit more lively, a little bit more awake. And keep breathing deeply if you can. Great work. And when you're ready now, you come back towards centre, drawing the belly in once more, and lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. Nice deep inhale, opening through the chest. And then on the exhale, taking the left arm down underneath you, the left shoulder on the mat. So you're going to really gently press into the right hand, coming in to thread the needle position. It's a really great stretch for opening up across the backs of the shoulders. We're just going to let this left bottom arm just be a little bit floppy and relaxed on the mat. If you want to add in something extra, you can just press away the toes on the right foot, press the heel away here, get a bit of a stretch through the right leg. Not necessarily any better, just a little sort of option there for you, different variation on this pose. And then gently drawing the knee down if you've chosen to lift it, just taking the left hand all the way back up towards the ceiling, opening through the chest, and then placing it back on the mat. On the inhale this time, we lift the right arm nice and high, and then exhaling, threading the arm through underneath you, coming in to thread the needle on the other side. So we're making sure this right arm underneath us feels nice and relaxed. We're trying to relax this space around the shoulder and the neck, where it's in contact with the ground. And then just if you press into that left hand that's sort of out in front of your face, you'll feel that you can kind of intensify that stretch between the shoulders. It's really important today with our eagle pose when we're working into that space. So again, option to tuck the toes on the left foot, press the heel away. Nice stretch through the back of the legs if you're tight through the calves and the hamstrings. But it does, I would say, for me, it takes away from the intensity of the upper body stretch. So you are always making sort of a compromise when you do these changes. So just have a think about what works for you today. And then gently drawing the left knee down, taking the right arm back up towards the ceiling. Nice deep inhale. And then exhale, setting it back on the mat. So just going to spread the fingers, get nice and comfy here. We're going to do a little bit of opening for our hips. So we're going to lift the left leg now. So you might want to draw the right knee in just slightly to support you. Keep the belly in strong. I'm going to draw the left leg out towards the side and then gently lower it down. So I call it like fire hydrant. It's not really a yoga name for this. It's not a particularly yogic thing to do. But we're going to do about 5 of those nice and slow. Really kind of squeeze up near the top. And then we're going to go straight into some hip circles. So whichever direction you want to go, just start to draw a little circle with the knee here. And try and keep these reasonably big. Obviously be mindful, if you feel a bit tight, start the movement off small and then work a little larger, work within a comfortable range for you. Shouldn't be any sharp pain here. And then reverse the direction. But we do want to get these hips nice and open to give us the best chance at binding our legs in eagle. And then gently step back down and come over to the other side. Don't worry, there's going to be plenty of moving in this class, but we are going to warm up properly today. So we're going to lift the right leg out to the side and then draw it back in. So just like we did with the left side, just repeating the same on the right. So I'm not going to twizzle around, save myself getting dizzy. So we're just going to do that about 5 times. If you want to do more or less, that's fine, but try and keep the movement nice and smooth and even here. And then we're going to draw some circles again, so you can come forward first or back, whatever you want to do. You might get some pops through the hips, absolutely fine. It's just those sharp pains that we want to kind of avoid. So if you do get sharp pain here, it's best to keep the circles really small or stick to just doing the fire hydrants. It can be quite easy to aggravate any sort of sciatica conditions with movements like this, so just be mindful of anything that might be going on in your body. Always pop me a message if you want some alternative for something if you're not feeling too comfortable. So from here we're going to tuck the toes and lift into our first downward facing dog. And keep the knees really, really bent and lift the bum up behind us. So we're not even going to pedal yet, we're going to spread the hands and we're going to gently lower the knees down and just hover millimeters off the mat, as low as you can go, but don't touch the mat. Keep the belly drawn up. Then from here, lifting the legs once more. Again, I'm not quite straightening the legs. I'm lifting the hips as high as I can to the ceiling. And then I'm coming all the way back down, and I'm just going to hover. If your hands start to slide here, you really want to be pressing down with those fingertips, pressing the palms into the mat, and keeping a slight bend in the elbows. That's going to help you stay stable. It's really important to control here. So I'm really pressing down with the fingers, slight bend in the elbows. That's our last time now. And lift the hips up high and then have a pedal through the feet. So take one heel down and the other, give the hips a twist. Any movement that feels good for you, just work out those legs. Give them a walk, give them a pedal, get them nice and warm. Great work, everyone. And then when you're ready, I'm going to slowly walk the feet in towards the hands, so little micro steps. And we're going to find our way into ragdoll. We're going to come to the top of the mat for our ragdoll. Feet about hips width apart, nice deep bend in the knees to start, hips a little high behind you. Just let the head hang heavy, shoulders draw down. And just take a couple of deep breaths here, so reconnect with the breath. With each exhale, see if you can sink the upper body a little bit closer down towards the mat. So just let it all slowly sink down, melting away all that tension in the back. Very gently lifting the hips up high behind you, but quite a deep bend in the knees still for now, not super duper warm. And then when you're ready, we're going to take the hands down towards the toes and slowly roll up through the spine. We're going to circle the arms nice and wide, draw the hands into prayer. And exhale, fold all the way forward once more. Great work. This time, I'm going to take the hands to the mat or perhaps a block in front of you, whatever makes you feel comfortable. I'm going to take the right leg behind the left. So just going to get a little bit of extra stretch out through this right hip. So I've still got a slight bend in my knees here. It's a nice little variation. It is sort of prep for eagle because our legs are crossed. But just generally a nice sort of forward fold. A little bit different, something to mix up the practice. Always good to put these things in. Then coming back towards centre, I'm going to gently roll up through the spine once more. Circle the arms up overhead. Draw the hands into prayer. Exhale, fold forward, coming over to the other side. So this time the left leg comes behind the right. And you're just going to get a little bit more intensity, opening up through the left side of the leg and the hip, glutes, all that nice tasty tight bit, particularly if you're spending a lot of time at a desk and maybe not moving as much as you'd like to. Just take a deep breath. Just let it all go. Great work. And then when you're ready, just releasing that off once more. Can't stay here forever, I'm afraid. Gently rolling up through the spine, circling the arms nice and wide and bringing the hands into prayer. Just take a moment just to connect with the feet, so just roll back and forth on the toes from one side to the other and then come back towards centre. Maybe set yourself a little intention for the rest of the day, something special for you or for someone around you, but no chores, not allowed, no chores. Circling the arms back overhead, exhaling, folding forward. Let's get on with our flow now. So I'm going to take the hands to the shins, we're going to gently come into a halfway lift, straightening out through the back. Exhaling, folding forward. Hands to the feet, stepping back towards a plank position. I'm going to gently lower the knees down and take the chest to the floor. Taking 3 rounds of cobra. Hands come in line with the shoulders. On the inhale, gently lifting the chest, scooping it up, gazing forward. On the exhale, gently lowering down, taking one cheek to the mat and just giving the hips a rock and a wiggle. On the next inhale, we gently lift up the chest again, scoop and lift. And then on the exhale, lower back down, taking the opposite cheek to the mat and giving the hips a wiggle. Third and final time on the inhale, lifting the chest. And then exhaling, lowering back down. From here, tucking the toes, and in your own time, finding your way back towards downward facing dog. So you should feel a little bit sort of warmer, a little bit more mobile in this downward facing dog already. So gently press the heels down. They don't have to touch the mat, that's absolutely fine. Lift the hips up high behind you, try and keep the back nice and flat and straight. From here on the inhale, we're going to lift the left leg high behind us. I'm going to draw the knee in towards the chest. We're going to round and squeeze, take the forehead in towards the knee. And then very gently step the left foot through to the top of the mat. We're coming into crescent moon lunges. I'm going to give you 2 options. And it's going to be whether the back knee comes down or not. So you can draw the back knee down if you want and sweep the arms up overhead. Or if you're feeling a bit more energetic, keep the back leg lifted, press the heel away. So we've got 2 options. Wherever you are, tucking the hips underneath you slightly. So you get a lovely stretch across the front of this right hip behind us. I'm going to press the heel away behind to keep the leg nice and active. So both feet are facing forward here. Nice deep breath. We're going to find our way into a twist. We're going to take the hands into prayer. We're going to twist towards the left. So the right elbow comes to the outside of the left knee. We're trying to keep the belly off the legs, redrawing the core in here. Twisting, turning, twisting and squeezing. Try to gaze over the left shoulder. Spread the toes on the front foot. Stay nice and stable and strong. Great work. Remember, there is always that option with the bottom knee down, the toes untucked. If you don't want to keep the back leg lifted, absolutely fine. From here, wherever we are going to now drop the knee. We're going to untuck the toes. We're going to release the arms, turn back to face forward. We're going to take our first variation on eagle. We're just going to have a play with the arms. So take the right arm down in front of us and the left arm on top. Then we're going to take the hands onto the shoulders. So this is level 1. So every time we come into eagle, you can just do this variation. So my hands are reaching back around the backs of my shoulders and my elbows are lifting up slightly in front of me. So that's always going to be an option. I won't always cue it. When I say eagle arms, you can always do this. If you want to add in, you can let the backs of the arms touch each other, maybe interlace the hands. From here, we're going to draw the elbows in line with our gaze. We're going to try and squeeze the shoulders behind us and press the palms away. So moving away from us. And just breathe into that space between the shoulder blades. Breathe into wherever you're finding it tight through the shoulders. And probably still through the left hip. Great work. And then gently release that off, give the arms a wiggle. We're going to find our way into lizard. So we'll walk the left foot all the way over to the side of the mat. It's still quite early in class, so do feel free to roll onto the outside edge of the foot, to stay on the hands, maybe even take your way up onto a block. I use blocks like all the time when I'm practicing by myself. It's a really good way to modify a pose when you're not quite warm. If you're super bendy, you can come all the way down, that's absolutely fine, but just be mindful of how much practicing you've been doing recently and sort of what is feeling right in your own body. From here, we're going to step our way back towards a plank position. I'm going to take a vinyasa of your choice, so it's an option now to come halfway down to chaturanga, roll through to upward facing dog, and exhale back to downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath here, just settle in. I appreciate if you're coming through to cobra, it might take a little longer. So you take your time with this, there's no need to rush. On the next inhale, we're going to lift the right leg nice and high behind it. We're going to draw the right knee into the chest, round and squeeze. So imagine you're stepping over a block in the centre of the mat. And then from here, step the right foot gently forward. Remember, you've got the option to keep the back knee down, or you can keep it lifted, press the heel away and sweep the arms up overhead, coming into crescent moon lunge on the other side. I'm just going to twist around so you can see me better. So I'm really sinking my body weight down, so I'm deepening the bend in this front leg. I'm tucking the hips underneath me slightly and pressing the heel away on the back foot. And that really does give me a great stretch through the left hip here. I'm going to take the hands into prayer and I'm going to twist now towards the right. So my left elbow comes to the outside of the right knee. I'm really lifting the chest up and through, twisting, gazing over the right shoulder. Let the toes on the front foot spread. Remember, you can keep the back knee down right away. If you want to keep it lifted for a little bit longer, then please feel free to do so as well. Don't worry if you wobble or you fall over. I actually do it all the time when I'm teaching. Quite embarrassing, but it happens to all of us. I'm sure I'll wobble at some point. Just embrace the wobble and just have a little laugh if you fall over. Gently drawing the left knee down and untucking the toes on the back foot. Sweeping the arms up overhead, we're going to find those eagle arms again. So this time left arm comes down first, right arm on top. Again, remember you can keep the forearms touching each other, you can take the hands onto the shoulders, or you can lift the elbows in line with the gaze and press the palms away with the hands interlaced slightly. So I've got my hands touching the sort of inside of the opposite hand. It should feel pretty intense around the back of the shoulders. It is a deep pose, but it will make you feel great afterwards. Make sure you drink plenty of water after this class too, because all binding poses are good at sort of getting everything moving and releasing any toxins and things that have been left around in muscles that have got a bit tight. And then gently release off the arms. From here, we're going to take the hands to the inside of the front leg. I'm going to walk the right foot out and come into lizard. Remember, you can roll to the outside edge of the foot. You're going to breathe, inhale, lift the chest at first. You can take the hands onto a block. You can have the hands as high as you want here. You can maybe come all the way down into the forearms if that feels good. If it feels a little bit too early for lizard for you all the way down there, you can always just sort of rest up on the front leg as well. Just take it a bit wider. So lots of options as always. Just another breath here. Great work. And then when you're ready, we're going to find our way back towards that plank position. So take a vinyasa of your choice. I'm going to demonstrate a modified vinyasa again, just so you're getting lots of demos of both. So lowering the knees down and tucking the toes, chest all the way to the floor. Hands in line with the shoulders. On the inhale, gently scoop and lift to cobra. On the exhale, lower down. Tuck the toes, and in your own time, come back to downward facing dog. So nice deep breath in downward facing dog to get a really good reset. You should be starting to feel quite a lot warmer here now. So just draw those heels down, lift the hips high behind you. Put a slight bend into the elbows, spread the fingers, and twist the inner elbows in towards each other and to point forward. So again, that engagement through the back and through the arms to help you feel nice and solid in this position here. On the next inhale, we're going to lift the left leg nice and high. I'm going to draw the left knee over towards the right elbow. If you can, lift it even higher towards the armpit. So I'm going to twist and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze here. Great work. And then from here, we're going to draw the knee in towards the chest and then gently step forward. Always trying to make that step as quiet as we can. Now find a little internal twist, so the right hand comes to the floor or block, and the left arm comes up towards the ceiling. So really nice opening here through this left hip. It can be nice sometimes to step back to side plank from here, but we're not going to be doing that today. And then we're going to square back up towards the top of the mat. From here, we're going to sweep the arms back overhead. I'm going to take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers and squeeze the shoulders forward, so opening up again. If you want to, you can take the palms to face away. Great work. Now, eagle legs does involve a reasonable amount of sort of hip flexion, and we're going to get our hips nice and warm. So to find our way now into chair. So to sweep the arms up overhead. I'm going to step and try and keep this front leg bent straight into chair. Great work. We're going to find a twist in chair, taking the hands to prayer and twisting towards the left. So we're getting all this great work, getting our hips prepped for our eagle pose. Breathe nice and deep and sink the bum a little low if you can. Great work. From here, we're going to try and lift the back leg. Really challenging, don't worry if you can't do it. You're just going to lift and hover it, and then slowly step back into a twisted crescent moon lunge. If you can, we're going to peel our way back up so you can come straight down into a plank position if you want to, or maybe sweep the arms nice and strong overhead first. And then take the hands to frame the front foot, step back towards a plank position, taking a vinyasa of your choice. So this time, I'm going to take a full vinyasa, coming down to chaturanga, rolling through to upward facing dog, and drawing the hips back into downward facing dog. Great work. And just another little breather, a little pedal, maybe have a twist. So your yoga practice does not need to stay static. Now do everything that feels good for you to loosen up the body, to help you breathe deeper, and just feel that little bit more comfortable in your poses. Nice deep inhale, exhale, let it go. From here, we're going to lift the right leg high. I'm going to draw the right knee in towards the left elbow, so twisting and squeezing across the body. Really press down on that left hand and try and draw the right knee high. So that counter action is going to help you create this intense core twist. And then we're going to really gently come back towards center and step forward. Great work. Finding that internal twist, left hand comes down onto a block. I'm going to lift the right arm up towards the ceiling. So we're creating all kind of funky twisting poses here, getting into all different angles in our hips and our shoulders. Really nice and prepped for eagle. Probably exhausted too, but you can do it. And keep going. And then slowly coming back towards center. Again, we're going to sweep the arms up overhead. And then we're going to draw them behind us. Try and interlace one finger over. So whatever feels a bit weird, put that finger on top. Sink into the legs. Squeeze and lift the chest, draw the arms behind you. Great work, everyone. So you know we're going to do that thing when we step straight into chair. We'll try and keep the front leg that little bit bent. Makes it a little bit harder, keeps the thighs working and strong. So I'm going to gently step forward and sweep the arms up overhead and come into a chair. Great work, everyone. Finding the twist on the other side, hands come to prayer, twisting towards the right. I'm just going to twist around so you can see me. Great work. So whenever we're in our twisted chair, we're really trying to draw the right hip back. So whichever side you're twisting towards, keeping that hip drawing back. Now I'm going to try and transfer the weight out of the opposite leg, so the leg we're not twisting towards. Briefly hover it, and then step it back. It's a really tricky transition. So well done. Great work, everyone. Then you're going to sweep the arms up overhead, nice and energetic, or come straight to plank. And this time we're going to come all the way down towards our mat. So we're going to gently lower the knees down when you come into child's pose. So have a little sigh, let it all out. You've been doing a really great job, well done. So hopefully the legs feel really warm. Shoulders going to feel reasonably warm too. Now we're going to find our way onto our backs. Don't worry, all the action's not done yet. And just do a little bit of core to prep our midsection. So the eagle inspired core, obviously. So what I'd like you to do is just lie comfortably on your back, spread your shoulders so they feel nice and broad. From here, I'm going to take the hands behind the head. I always like to interlace my fingers, I think it supports my neck better, but do whatever works for you here. I'm going to press the belly down into the mat. So you want that back to be in full contact with the mat. Then from here, we're going to lift our legs. I'm going to take the left leg over the top of the right first. If you want to tuck the foot behind, have a go so you can prep what that feels like, you can, but it doesn't really matter for this bit. Then from here, we're going to do 5 crunches on either side. So we're just going to lift up and squeeze, and then lower back down. As you lower down, let the legs come away from you. It makes that a little bit harder. So we're just going to do about 5 of these. So really draw those legs away, but don't let the heels come down. So that's number 3 for me. Coming into number 4, really squeeze at the top. It's really great for the hips. Squeeze in, and gets our core nice and warm. So that's 5. Now I'm going to switch over sides. So we're going to find that eagle sort of position on the opposite side. If you want to keep the toe wrapped under, you can. I like to keep it loose, give a bit more space through the hips. That's up to you. If you're feeling sort of pedantic, switch the interlace on the hands behind the head as well. So just squeeze in for 1, and then lower back down. Squeeze in for 2. If you remember, let the legs come away slightly here. That really does add in that extra kick. Number 3, squeeze everything back in. And draw away. 2 more, you've got it guys. Squeeze in. Number 4. And out. And number 5, squeeze in. And out. Great work. Just going to release that off and come into happy baby. So you're going to, a little bit of a treat. Take the hands to the inside of the knees, then catch hold of the outside of the feet, drawing the heels up towards the ceiling. Just let the shoulders draw down and just gently rock left and right if that feels good. Sometimes I roll all the way over onto my side and get stuck, so try not to go that far, but you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. But it's a really nice way to just give that mid to lower back a bit of a massage, a bit of a squeeze out. Now we've got one more pose while we're here on our back, so get a chance to catch our breath and have a reset so we're nice and refreshed for our eagle poses, which will be the next thing we're going to come to. So we're going to draw the feet together and then take them towards the mat. From here we're going to come to recline pigeon. So again, we're just giving our hips the most love we can before we start. So I'm taking the left foot to the back of the right knee. I'm going to thread the hands through to catch hold of the back of the leg and keep my shoulders nice and broad. I'm really going to squeeze that right knee in today. So this knee is going this way. If you want to add in some extra pressure, you can gently press on the inside of the left leg, not directly on the knee, but on the leg. So you've got that counter action there, opening up through the hips. I'm too lazy to bother doing that, but it is an option there. I like to keep my classes nice and real, as you can tell. Just a couple of breaths here, opening up through the legs. And then gently releasing that and switching over sides. So left leg comes down, right leg comes on top, hands come through. And again, I'm drawing that left knee in, gently pressing the right leg away. Great work. Great work. I'm going to release that off. I'm going to find our way back to downward facing dog. So we're just going to roll forward, plant the hands out in front of us. There we go. And gently lift the hips up high behind. Take a nice deep breath in downward facing dog. Enjoy those sort of nice refreshed hips. You can probably feel the activity in the core still, which is great too. And we'll slowly walk the feet in towards the hands and gently roll your way up towards standing. Be nice and mindful of this. We have spent a lot of time on our backs, so we might get a bit of a head rush, so just be slow and gentle. So we're now here and we're ready for our eagle pose. So to come into eagle, we're going to start off by taking both arms up overhead. We're going to draw the left arm down in front of us and the right arm on top. Remember, the hands can just rest or they can catch hold of the shoulders, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to interlace my hands here. I'm going to lift my elbows in line with my gaze and I'm going to press the palms away. So option number 1 is just to stand here and work on your arms. You don't need to add in the legs if you don't want to. The next option would be just to come into chair pose with the hips. So that's at least going to get some action going through the legs. What we're going to try and do though is take the right leg, I'm going to draw the knee in towards centre, and then we're going to very gently bind the leg over the top of the left. So you'll notice that I've sort of snaked my foot all the way around the back of the left leg. So the right toe is coming around the edge of the left leg. Now you don't have to do that, you can leave the foot out towards the side. If you can manage the bind and it feels comfortable, it just helps you sink that little bit deeper. So we're going to keep the core nice and tense here. Now if you're a sort of eagle regular, I've got a little extra challenge for you here. Can you take the elbows all the way down to meet the knees? So you're going to fold. And then from here, can you lift back up without falling over? Me doing this is not guaranteed. And maybe try doing that a couple more times. So remember, this is a really advanced option. I'm not expecting you to necessarily want to do this. You can stay in eagle, that's absolutely fine. But it does give you a little extra challenge if you want it. So I'm just going to do that one more time. And everyone has a better side with this pose, depending on sort of which hip is tighter. I'm going to gently release the legs. I'm going to give the arms a little wiggle. Woo. I'm going to come over to the other side. Great work, everyone. So remember, sweeping the arms up overhead. This time the right arm comes down and left arm on top. So you come over to the other side. I'm going to interlace the hands as an option, just an option. I'm going to lift the elbows in line with our gaze and press the palms forward. This time I'm going to take the left leg on top. So this is my weaker side, so we'll see if I fall over now. So I'm going to lift the left leg up, and I'm going to slowly snake it over the top of the right leg. If you want to hook the toe behind the back of the leg, you can, but it's not essential. The other thing to check in here is that both your hips are facing forward. They are going to twist off to the side, so just as best as you can, try and keep the hips facing forward. Then from here, we're going to draw the elbows down to meet the knees. If you want, remember this is an extra challenge. And then we're going to very gently pick back up. That picking back up is really hard, so well done. Maybe 2 more times. I'm going to count my lucky stars, I don't fall over. And lift back up. And final time. Great work. And lift back up. And then gently release. Give it all a wiggle. So the final thing I'm going to give you now is an option, which is a side crow variation of eagle. If you'd rather keep having a play with your eagle, or you want to fit in a different stretch here, that's fine, but it's something for you to maybe consider having a go at. I'm not great at this either, so I'm just going to warn you, it's not going to be the best pose in the world. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep our legs in an eagle bind, but we're going to add in a side crow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the right leg over the top of the left, and I'm going to come down. I'm not going to do the double hook. It's really difficult to do this with a double hook, and I'm not sure it's great for your hips either. So I'm keeping that right leg just sort of loose here. I'm then going to take this right elbow into the edge of the right hip, and the left elbow is just going to sit in underneath the right leg. So I'm going to find my way to take the hands onto the floor. This bit's always the awkward bit, particularly if you're tight in the hips. And then I'm just going to gently lift the legs up off the mat. So I've got my sort of eagle leg variation in side crow. Great work. And then pop back down. So if you want to have a go on the other side as well, I'm going to give you time now to pause the video and have a go at this if that's what you want to do. I'm not going to go through more and more variations because I appreciate for some of you this isn't what you want to do. So for now, I'm going to find my way back towards the top of the mat. So do pause if you want to have a go and have a little bit more of a practice here. But for the rest of us, we're going to find our way now into the rest of our practice. So as we come out of all our eagle binds, our hips should be feeling pretty loose, loosey-goosey. So we're just going to check in with our feet position. So we want our feet to be underneath our hips, slight bend at the knees. We're going to draw the belly in, tuck the pelvis slightly. Just stand nice and tall. Circle the arms up overhead, draw the hands into prayer, and exhale, fold all the way down. On the inhale, take the hands to the shins and gently lift up through the chest. Exhale, fold down. From here, we're going to find our way into pigeon. So we're going to step the left leg back, all the way back, and then take the right foot all the way over to the left hand. First thing we're going to do here is work this position a little bit. So if you can, take the right hand flat to the ground. I'm going to run this knee all the way down the hand and work it back up. So I'm going to run the knee all the way down towards the hand, and then run it back up. So that can feel really nice. Lift and stretch, just do that a couple of times. Or you can come straight into pigeon if you want as well. So I'm just going to do that one final time. And then I'm going to draw my hands out in front. I'm going to try and keep the shin as close as I can to parallel to the top of the mat. You're probably going to want to draw the heel in slightly, that's fine. And I always draw the left leg back a bit, just make a bit more space into the hip. You can take a pillow or a block and put it under the right hip if you like. And then I'm going to come down onto the forearms. Maybe take the head to rest on the hands and just sink down into the hips. And just take a nice couple of deep breaths. It's been a challenging class today, both in a bit of strength and balance, but hopefully you've had some fun. At the end of the day, what do we do this for? We do this just as a little escape from our day, to give our mind and our body some love and some care. Let's have a good time. So just breathe deep into the right hip. And coming to the end of the class now. Just a couple of stretches to sort of finish us off. And just really feel that sort of warmth and energy from the practice, sort of sinking into the right hip here. Just getting that a little bit looser. You've done an amazing job. And then slowly coming back onto the hands. So just switch over sides, and for that we're just going to step back towards downward facing dog. Give the right leg a wiggle if you want. Have a pedal as well. And then from here, we're going to lift the left leg high. I'm going to step it through to the top of the mat. We're going to draw the left foot all the way over to the right hand. If you want to have a go at this little sort of prep pose, then what you're going to do is just run the knee down towards the hand just a couple of times. This feels really nice, and then lift up in between. Just mobilising through that position a little bit here. I'm going to do that 3 times, but do it as much as you want, or just come straight into pigeon. It's fine as well. So we're going to draw that back leg away, then lift up through the chest. Draw the heel in slightly if you need to. Remember, you can pop a pillow under the hip here. And then just find your way down into your pigeon pose on the other side. Again, just keep the deep breath here into the left hip. Nice deep inhale. Just let all that nourishing movement settle in. And exhale, just relaxing out any tension, any remaining stress or worries. Maybe coming back to that intention you might have set at the start of practice. Even if it's have a bath and light some candles or go buy a bar of chocolate, just do something for you or for someone else. Great work. And then we're going to very slowly come back onto the hands. I'm going to draw the left leg back behind us and gently draw the knees down, lowering all the way onto the front. Just going to do some final stretches for the shoulder and some twists, and we're done. So we're going to take the left arm to 90 here. The left ear comes down, so I'm looking towards the right. Then I'm going to lift the right leg up and over. I'm going to a really nice juicy stretch for the left shoulder. And very gently press into the right hand here. Great work. Just breathe into that twist. And coming back towards centre and over to the other side, so right arm comes to 90, right ear comes down, left hand comes in slightly. I'm going to draw the left leg up and over behind us. Always have a play around with the position of the right arm so you hit that sweet spot for you. And just really breathe into the right shoulder. It's a really great class, lots of twisting, lots of bending, lots of movement in all sorts of different directions, keeping both our body and our mind active. And just thanking your body for whatever it's managed today, and don't worry if you haven't managed to get everything done, that really doesn't matter, as long as you enjoyed it and managed to sort of get the body moving, that's what matters. And then slowly rolling back towards centre. And from here, we're just going to roll over onto our backs. We're going to take a nice deep full body stretch. We're going to take the arms up overhead, interlace the hands if you want. Press the heels away, one of my favourite stretches. Nice deep inhale. And then on the exhale, let the arms come down the sides of the body, let everything relax. So from here, we're going to come into some twists. I'm going to give you the option to add in the leg bind. You might be done with any equal variations by now. What we're going to do is we're going to draw the left leg in. I'm going to take the right knee underneath, so my left leg's on top. I'm just going to give my hips a little wobble, so get everything nice and comfy. And then I'm going to take the right hand across and gently draw the legs over towards the left. I always find I need to have a fidget to get this in the right position. That's totally up to you. I've not got any space to straighten out my arm, but if you want to, you can straighten out the left arm here. So I'm going to twist and gaze towards the left as the legs come over towards the right. Great work. And then very slowly coming back towards centre. And switching over sides, so I'm just going to take the left knee on the bottom, the right leg on top. I'm going to do my really attractive little wiggle around. And then I'm going to let the legs come over to the side. I'm going to take the left hand to the outside of the knee, the right arm up. So remember, you can take a normal recline twist here, or you just keep the bottom leg straight underneath you as well, it's absolutely fine. Just something a little bit different for you to add in if you'd like. And when you're ready, slowly coming back towards centre. Just going to set ourselves up for Shavasana. We're just going to let the hands fall open towards the sides and the palms face up. And then gently close the eyes and just relax all the muscles of the face. Let go of any remaining tension in the body, so the toes and the fingers. Let the calves be heavy, bum nice and relaxed, and the shoulders broad, melting away any tension around the ears and the neck. Letting the jaw hang soft, the muscles in the face nice and relaxed. Just return to the breath, watching the inhales and exhales. And just get yourself ready to slowly move away from practice. If you'd like to pause the video and take a little bit longer in Shavasana, maybe put one of your favourite tunes on. And spend a couple of minutes lying here in a peaceful position of your choice. Please feel free to do so. It's time for you to get on with the rest of your day, your evening, your morning, wherever you are. Just give the fingers and the toes a little wiggle, have a shake. And then roll over to one side. Just take a moment to rest there. Slowly pressing your way back up towards seated. Crossing the legs underneath you or any way comfortable to sit. Growing nice and tall through the spine, rolling the shoulders up, back and down. Taking the hands into prayer. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed the class. Please do leave your feedback below, give us a like, a follow, whatever. It just helps us know that our content's getting out and it's being enjoyed. Thank you. Have a great day. Namaste.